Welcome back to our software design and development unit. In this lesson we'll look at the standard algorithm finding min. Our learning intentions are as follows. We'll learn how to use the finding min algorithm to find the lowest value in a list or an array. And as always, we have some success criteria. We will be able to implement the finding min algorithm and describe its operation. We'll start this lesson with a definition. Finding minimum. It's an algorithm that searches for the lowest value in a list or an array and returns that value. In a finding min algorithm, the first value in the list is set to the minimum value. In this example, the first value in our array numbers is 10. That would be set to the minimum value. After this, we will traverse the array, which means go through each element in the array using its index number. And each item in the list is compared to our initial minimum value, which is 10. If our comparator is smaller, it will replace it as the minimum value. In this way, we get a value returned of the minimum value in the array. Let's now traverse this array together. We will do that by stepping through the code one line at a time. We will visually see us traversing the array in the array numbers, and we'll use a trace table to see the values in each of the variables as we go. In line 1, the variable number is set to the first value within the array, which is numbers index 0. That value is 10. In line 3, I starts at 1, and that means we want to start at the second position within the array and compare the value in that element to our first value. At line 5, numbers I, so numbers being our array and I being the reference to the variable, the control variable in the loop, which is 1. If that is less than minimum and min is set to 10, so in this case 11, numbers I and 10. So if numbers I is less than min, then we would set min to those numbers. In this case it remains at 10 because that condition is not met. We then traverse back round the loop, I being incremented to 2 in this case. Again, numbers I in this case will be 8, and if it is less than min, which is 10, which it is, then min will be set to numbers I. So in this case we will assign the value 8 to the variable min. It now becomes our minimum value to compare against. Again, we traverse around the array, I incrementing to 3. In this element we have the value 15. Again, we compare that to our minimum value, which is 8. That condition is not met, therefore our minimum value remains 8. We're again traversing around the array and iterating round a loop, I now becomes 4, and the value in numbers I or numbers 4 is the value 23. If it is less than min, which is 8, which is not, that condition is not met, therefore our variable min remains with the value 8. Again, iterating round the loop and as such traversing the array, I now becomes 5, and numbers I, the value in that element is 6. which is if it's less than our minimum, or our value in min, which is 8, which it is, that condition is met. Therefore, our variable min will be set to 6. Again, we iterate round our loop, and as such traverse the array. I is now 6, and numbers I, the value in there is 42 if it is less than our minimum value, which is 6 at this time, which is not, that condition is not met. Therefore, our variable min remains with the value 6 before, again, another iteration of our loop, and again traversing through that array nicely, now at index position 7. So I is at 7, our value in numbers I is 17. Comparing that against 6, so is it less than 6? It's not, it does not meet the condition. Therefore, our value in our variable min remains at 6. Again, iterating around the loop, I becomes 8, and we then have a value of 9, comparing against 6 again. That condition is not met, therefore min remains at 6 before we iterate for our final time with I becoming 9. We have the value 31 in numbers 9. Again, is that less than 6? Which it's not, therefore our minimum value will be 6. And this will give us our minimum value for this list of values within our array. And at step 10, we will display that minimum value. Thank you for watching this series of videos. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe.